Let me ask you something. How many times have you sat in a doctor's office, listed every symptom that you're struggling with, from brain fog, night sweats, all the way to weight changes, but still walked out of your appointment with one of these ever so frustrating responses? Oh, that's just aging, or that's normal for your age. I know you've heard it. I have been hearing this from women just like you for years. So if you've ever felt invisible in those moments, like you were shouting for help in a room full of people who could not hear you, unfortunately, you are not alone. Like I said, I hear these stories all the time. Women who know something is off but keep being told that there's nothing to fix. And here's the thing, you're not broken anyway. You are in a stage of life that deserves attention, respect, and a plan that actually works for you. And that's exactly why I created this episode, to give you the clarity, tools, and understanding that you deserve without confusion, dismissal, or guesswork. Welcome to the Mr. Menopause Show. Hey there, it's Tafiq Akhir, Mr. Menopause here, your go-to source for reliable menopause and healthy aging support. And today I want to start with the kind of support that many women actually never get but absolutely deserve. And that is medical care that is actually menopause informed. And listen, I share this fact often because I think it's important for women to truly know and understand that most doctors receive less than 4 hours of menopause education in their entire medical training. 4 hours to cover an entire life stage that can last decades and impact everything from your brain to your bones to your relationships. That means that if you have felt dismissed, misdiagnosed, or brushed off, it's not because you're too sensitive. It's because the system is not built to recognize you. And this is why working with someone who is not only specialized in menopause, but who is certified in menopause is so important. And no, I don't mean someone who has heard of hot flashes either. I mean a provider who understands how hormonal changes interact with every system in your body, who knows that symptoms are not just stress or just aging, and who will not tell you to wait it out or learn to just live with it. Because when you finally have the right person in your corner, the conversation shifts from dismissing your symptoms to exploring real solutions. This is where treatment options, both medical and non-medical, can finally be tailored to your unique needs rather than thrown at you like a one-size-fits-all answer. Now, hormone replacement therapy, or HRT, is still the most effective treatment for many menopause symptoms, from hot flashes, night sweats, and vaginal dryness to bone loss and disrupted sleep. In the right hands, it can give you back energy, clarity, and peace of mind. But it is not a magic pill, and it is not the only path forward. HRT should always be tailored to you, your history, your genetics, your current health, and your comfort level. They all matter. And if hormones are not an option, whether because of personal choice, health concerns, or other factors, you should know that you still have options. Non-hormonal medications like low-dose antidepressants, gabapentin, or clonidine can ease hot flashes, calm anxiety spikes, and help you sleep without knocking you out completely. And these are not second best solutions either, by the way, because when chosen thoughtfully and paired with lifestyle or holistic strategies, they can be just as life-changing. In fact, I've worked with women who spent years on prescriptions that treated the wrong thing because no one thought to connect their symptoms to menopause. But once they worked with a menopause-informed provider, the light bulb went on. The plan finally made sense and relief was almost immediate. And that is what you deserve. You deserve clarity, not confusion. A provider who listens, not one who rushes you out the door. A treatment plan that respects the whole you, not just the part that fits neatly into a medical chart, right? See, because menopause is not a mystery when you have the right care, and you are not asking for too much when you ask for answers either. You're asking for what every woman in this stage deserves: to be seen, heard, and helped in a way that honors the whole of who you are. So, in the next part of the show, I'm going to be sharing real stories of women who finally found relief after working with certified menopause doctors, specialists, and menopause coaches. They found answers that fit their lives, strategies that worked for their bodies, and the kind of support that made all the difference. Let's talk about what this medical knowledge gap actually looks like in real time, because behind every statistic is a woman. Not a number, not a case study, a real person. A woman who is frustrated, exhausted, and trying to make sense of a body that no longer feels familiar. And far too often, because of the system's failure to name menopause, women end up feeling like the failure instead. But you're not, and you never were. See, the following stories I'm sharing are true, and the details may change from person to person, but the pattern is strikingly, frustratingly consistent. And these are not extreme outliers either. These are everyday women dealing with everyday symptoms who were dismissed, misdiagnosed, or just completely ignored. And what happened to them? It is what's happening to women everywhere. The first story I call the migraine mystery. Dana was 44 when her migraine started. At first, she brushed them off as stress or maybe too much screen time, but they became more frequent, then more intense, and eventually they were interfering with her ability to function. She went from working full days and running a busy household to lying in bed with blackout curtains, an ice pack, and tears running down her face. She saw her primary care doctor, then a neurologist, then a pain specialist. She had an MRI. She tried 6 different medications. Nothing helped. Nothing even made a dent. With no one asking her, have you noticed any changes in your cycle? Or have you experienced any other symptoms like sleep issues, mood swings, or night sweats? No one ever brought up hormones. No one even mentioned perimenopause. Dana spent 3 years being treated like a mystery patient. 3 years of appointments, missed work days, and hopelessness. It was not until she joined an online women's health forum that she saw a post from another woman describing identical symptoms. The post mentioned something called estrogen withdrawal headaches. Dana printed it out and brought it to her new doctor, one trained in menopause care. They did a full hormone panel, asked all the right questions, and finally connected the dots. Her estrogen levels were erratic and her migraines were directly tied to those fluctuations. Once she began hormone therapy and integrated a few targeted nutrition changes, her migraines decreased dramatically, from several episodes a week to 1 or 2 a month, some months none at all. 3 years of her life spent in pain, misdiagnosed, medicated, overlooked, all because no one said the word menopause. Story number 2 I call the brain fog breakthrough. At 51, Sandra was running a small business and raising 2 teenagers, but she felt like her brain had turned into molasses. She forgot client names, missed deadlines, and would walk into a room with no idea why she was even there. Her doctor ran basic labs, said she was quote unquote healthy, and suggested more sleep. But Sandra knew that this was more than just being tired. So, being the proactive woman she is, Sandra found a certified menopause coach through a friend's referral. Instead of dismissing her, the coach spent over an hour going through her symptoms, her daily habits, and nutrition. And together, they built a plan that focused on stabilizing her blood sugar, adding omega-3 rich foods, and incorporating short bursts of low impact exercise to increase circulation and oxygen flow to her brain. And within 2 months, Sandra noticed that she was finishing projects faster, remembering details without having sticky notes everywhere, and feeling confident in meetings again. No prescriptions, no hormones, just targeted lifestyle changes guided by someone who actually understood menopause brain fog and how to address it. Story number 3 is the panic diagnosis. Carmen is the kind of woman who gets things done. She leads a team. She presents at conferences. She manages her household. She is the type of person that everyone else leans on. So when she started waking up with her heart racing, her chest tight, and tears in her eyes for no reason, obviously it scared her. She thought she was having a heart attack and headed to the ER. The emergency room said it was just anxiety. Her primary care doctor agreed and put her on an SSRI. No hormone testing, no menstrual history, no exploration of perimenopausal mood swings at all. Just a prescription and a follow up in 3 months. But Carmen stood her ground and said, "This feels different. Something is off." So she started tracking her symptoms and realized that they were almost always the worst in the 2 weeks before her period. She also noticed she was suddenly sensitive to caffeine, had trouble sleeping, and cried during commercials, something that she had never done before. And eventually, she found a functional medicine doctor who ran a full hormone panel, and the results were eye opening. Her estrogen was swinging wildly from week to week, and what she was experiencing were not panic attacks in the clinical sense, they were hormone crashes. She adjusted her diet, started a low dose hormone treatment, and incorporated breath work and light movement into her daily routine. Within weeks, the episodes were completely gone. This was not anxiety, it was perimenopause. And it took Carmen becoming her own advocate to finally receive support that actually made sense. Story 4 I call the joint pain turnaround. At 48, Felicia woke up every morning with aching hips and stiff knees. She had been an active walker for years, but lately even a quick trip around the block left her sore. Her primary care doctor suggested arthritis medication, but Felicia was a little hesitant. She remembered how much her mother relied on medication, and she did not want to go that same route. So she reached out to a menopause wellness specialist who explained that declining estrogen can contribute to inflammation and joint discomfort. So instead of rushing to medication, they developed a low inflammatory eating plan, added specific strength training moves to build muscle to support around her joints, and integrated daily stretching to improve mobility. And just 3 months later, Felicia could walk for miles without pain. She even joined a weekend hiking group, something that she had not done in years. Her energy was higher, her body felt lighter, and her mornings were no longer something to dread. And the next story is called The Sleepless Years. Lena had not slept through the night in over a year. She would fall asleep, then wake up suddenly at 2 or 3 in the morning, many times soaked in sweat, heart racing, and unable to fall back asleep. It was happening every night. Her doctor said it was stress. He gave her a prescription for a sleep aid, but that only made her groggy and disconnected during the day. Plus, the night sweats continued. Lena began to think something was seriously wrong with her. She asked for blood work. The doctor refused. She said everything was normal for her age. Lena then took the advice from my episode on the 5 questions that every woman should ask her doctor about menopause, and when she didn't get the answer she deserved, she switched doctors. Atta girl, Lena, because the new doctor listened, really listened. She asked questions about Lena's cycle, her mood, her body temperature changes. She ran a hormone panel, and there it was. Lena was deep into perimenopause. Her night sweats, her racing heart, her sleep disturbances, classic hormone menopause related symptoms. Once she started on hormone therapy and adjusted her evening routine to include cooling practices, a magnesium supplement, and consistent bedtime, she finally slept through the night for the first time in over a year. The difference in her energy, her mood, and her daily functioning was profound. The unfortunate truth here is that these women are not anomalies. They're not rare, they are not exceptions to the rule, they are the rule. And the common thread running through each of these stories is menopause was not even part of the initial conversation. When menopause is missing from the diagnostic framework, women are left to suffer. And they are sent to specialists. They're prescribed medications that they don't need, and they're just suffering unnecessarily. They're told that it's in their heads, that it's just stress or aging, or that it's simply life. But what they are is really hormonal, and they are being ignored. What makes these stories powerful is not just the mistakes. It is the moment everything changed for them. The moment these women stopped feeling ashamed and started feeling informed. Because once you recognize your symptoms for what they truly are, you can reclaim your power. You stop chasing random solutions. You stop second guessing yourself. You stop allowing confusion to steal your quality of life. And you start asking better questions. You start working with providers who understand that this is a phase of life. You start implementing strategies that are rooted in science, aligned with your needs, and supportive of your unique body. You begin to trust yourself again, and look, that's everything. Now, in the next segment, I'm going to share how you can take everything that we've covered and turn it into action. I'm going to walk you through the real, proven, evidence based strategies that are helping women reclaim their health and joy in midlife and beyond. From medical therapies to natural alternatives, from daily habits to mindset shifts. This next segment is your personal roadmap for building a menopause plan that works for you, not against you. Because you deserve more than guesswork. You deserve a plan grounded in truth, science, and your lived experience. Hello again, it's Tafiq Akhir, Mr. Menopause here, and in this final segment, I'm going to take everything that we've just covered, the medical gap, the real life stories, and the misdiagnosis, and share the evidence-based options that are actually helping women feel better, think clearer, and live fully. No fluff, no fear tactics, just the truth and the tools to back it up. So, what really helps? Well, we are going to explore three essential categories: medical support, holistic therapies, and lifestyle strategies that build lasting results. I want to start with medical interventions because for many women, the right treatment plan can completely change the game. Now, of course, hormone replacement therapy, also known as HRT, is still considered the most effective option for relieving many of the most disruptive symptoms of menopause. And that includes hot flashes, night sweats, vaginal dryness, bone loss, and sleep disturbances. And when prescribed by a provider who truly understands menopause, HRT can transform your daily quality of life. But here's what you need to know. HRT is not one size fits all. It is not the automatic answer to every symptom. Your personal history, genetics, current health, and even your comfort level with hormone use all matters. And that's why working with a provider who specializes in menopause, not just general hormones, but the unique realities of this stage, is so essential. And if HRT is not an option for you, that does not mean that you're out of options. Non-hormonal medications like low-dose antidepressants, gabapentin, and clonidine may help with hot flashes, mood fluctuations, and sleep disruptions. Now, they're not band-aids. They should be part of a thoughtful, personalized plan that actually addresses what you are going through, not what someone else assumes you're experiencing. I've worked with women who spent years trying different treatment options and only to realize that no one had ever really looked at their symptoms through a menopause-informed lens. But once they did, everything started to make sense for them. Now, let's talk about the approaches that are often overlooked but can make a real difference when paired with medical or lifestyle support. Acupuncture, for example, is more than just needles. It's been shown to reduce the frequency and intensity of hot flashes, improve sleep, and support emotional regulation. Yoga, breath work, and strategic mindfulness practices all help to lower cortisol levels, which is your body's main stress hormone, which is often elevated during menopause, by the way, and can make your symptoms worse. And if you feel like your symptoms intensify during moments of stress, this is not in your head either. Stress can genuinely worsen everything from sleep disruptions to inflammation to mood swings. And there are also herbal and plant-based remedies worth considering. Black cohosh, red clover, and evening primrose oil have helped some women feel better. But here's the deal. Natural does not mean automatically safe or effective. You want to work with someone who understands how these herbs interact with your body, especially if you're on other medications or using HRT. Don't be afraid to explore natural approaches, though, but always do it with guidance because nature's medicine can be just as powerful as general medicine. So rely on a specialist or certified naturopathic practitioner, preferably one who is menopause informed. Remember, the goal is support, not guesswork. Now, this is the part where you reclaim your power because the choices you make daily can be your biggest allies in this transition. Menopause supportive nutrition, it's not optional. Your body needs the fuel that supports hormone balance, brain clarity, and emotional stability. Prioritize whole foods like leafy greens, lean proteins, healthy dietary fats like avocado and nuts, along with berries, beans, seeds, and plenty of fiber. Cut back on processed foods, sugar, caffeine, and alcohol. You all know those, right? But now it's imperative that you implement them because they will sneak in and sabotage your progress when you least expect it. I always say your plate can be a prescription if you fill it with the right things. Also, remember that movement is magic. You don't need to become a gym rat. Just move. Strength training keeps your bones strong. Cardiovascular activity boosts your brain and heart health. Stretching and mobility work keep you flexible and reduces pain. And yes, movement is also one of the most powerful ways to improve mood and reduce anxiety. Then there's sleep. Sleep is your body's built in repair system. If menopause has thrown your sleep off track, you're not imagining that. Hormonal shifts impact your circadian rhythm. So, easy fixes that can help are to keep your room cool, turn off your screens no less than 30 minutes before bed, preferably 1 to 3 hours before if you can, though. Stick to a sleep schedule even on the weekend and explore sleep supportive tools or routines that make you feel grounded and relaxed before bed. And then, the most harmful yet overlooked disruptors of hormonal balance, chronic stress. Menopause does not cause all the chaos. Stress pours fuel on the fire. That is why it's so important to create your own stress relief toolbox. Whether it's journaling, walking in nature, saying no more often, or simply setting better boundaries, listen, it all adds up. You are not being dramatic. You are adapting to major changes, and your body deserves to be supported with care and respect. Here's a truth that I think that you need to walk away with. Managing menopause is not about fixing yourself. It's about learning how to support yourself differently, both intentionally and intelligently. See, this chapter of your life is not a downfall. It's actually a reset, a chance to step into a stronger, clearer, and more empowered version of yourself. You deserve a plan that actually makes sense that can get you there. You deserve to be seen, heard, and supported. And this show is designed to help you build that plan one step at a time, one aha moment at a time. And look, I hope you got value from what I shared on the show. And with that, we are wrapping up this episode of the Mr. Menopause Show. And if this conversation spoke to you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on your favorite platform and leave a comment or review to let me know what resonated most and what you would like to hear more about as well. And if you're tired of feeling confused, dismissed, or unsupported, take the next step right now. Start with the Menopause Clarity Quiz to find out what stage of menopause you're in and how to take back control of your symptoms, your body, and your life. You'll find the link in the description and show notes for this episode. And before I go, I want to give you a sneak peek at what's coming up next week on the Mr. Menopause Show. I am going to be diving into one of the most frustrating and misunderstood parts of menopause, and that is menopausal weight gain. That's right, I will be sharing the real reasons why the scale and your body shape seem to change overnight, even when you're eating right and staying healthy. And more importantly, I'm going to break down what actually works to feel strong, energized, and comfortable in your body again. No gimmicks, no shame, just clear menopause informed strategies that you can start using right now. You do not want to miss this one. And once again, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe because it helps me connect with more women like you who are looking for reliable menopause and healthy aging support. Until next time, stay safe and be well.